Once again, thank you so much for being here. I know hapon, alam ko dapat natutulog kayo, but you're still here. So for today, we will have a free webinar regarding sa tax, and our guest speaker for today is Mr. Jack Tamayaw. So Jack, are you here?
Hello, Miss Marian. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, hold on. Let's give you a chance to share. All right, so we could start. I'll give you the floor if you could introduce yourself better. Thank you, Jack.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can see now my screen. Hello, I'm Attorney Jacques Tamayo. I'm actually a practicing tax lawyer. At the same time, I'm also a national lecturer for taxation. Generally, I'm engaged right now with a review center. So I do lectures for taxation for CPA review. Um, Yeah, so for today, I hope I could help you to deal with the processes in filing and to avoid the common mistakes in filing. Actually, whenever we talk about hidden processes, wala naman sanang hidden process eh. Kaso kasi, what is currently happening here in the Philippines is that there's not much of information dissemination by the BIR. Kaya yung mga taxpayer, they don't know what to do or how to deal with their filing. And since they don't know how to deal with their filing, what happens is that they do mistakes. And because of these mistakes, they are penalized. And at the end of the day, it is not the fault of the BIR that the taxpayer was unable to file properly, but still it's the fault of the taxpayer. So I hope by this particular webinar, I could help you to file properly your tax returns and of course to be compliant with the BIR. So let's start. So generally, our discussion for this afternoon will be regarding filing and payment of taxes. So how to properly file and pay taxes. So I will give you a brief step to file and pay taxes, and you will avoid those mistakes in filing and payment of taxes. So how do we file and pay taxes? So I have here four steps for you to file and pay taxes. First one, you need to file electronically. Second one, you ensure the validation of filing. Third one, you ensure the payment posting. And then lastly, you submit the required returns. So if ever you will just comply with these four easy steps, of course, you will not be subject to any penalties and you will not have any mistake in your filing. So mag-start na tayo. We file electronically. So whenever we say file electronically, under Revenue Regulation 4-2024, so currently, meron po tayong bagong law. Ano tong bagong law natin? This is the Ease of Paying Taxes Act or EOPTA. And when EOPTA was already filed or was already effective, we have a new revenue regulation, and that is Revenue Regulation number 4-2024. So under Revenue Regulation 4-2024, it tells us that we must file and pay electronically. So what do we mean whenever we say file and pay electronically? Under Section 3 of Revenue Regulation 4-2024, the filing of tax returns shall be done electronically in any of the available electronic platforms. However, in case of unavailability of electronic platforms, manual filing of tax returns may be allowed. Therefore, mga ka-taxpayer, under the new law or YOCTA, bawal nang mag-file manually. So, hindi na pwede yung iprint mo yung ITR or iprint mo yung tax return, tapos pupunta ka ng BIR, hindi na yun pwede. So, kailangan mag-file na tayo electronically. So, ayon sa RR 22-2024, lahat ng tax returns ay dapat i-file electronically. Wala nang manual filing, maliban na lang kung may approved BIR exception. Therefore, ang tanong dito, kailan tayo pwedeng mag-manual filing? So, when is manual filing allowed? So, under Revenue Memorandum Circular number 87-2024, yung katanungan na kailan pwedeng mag-manual filing ay nasagot. Under question number 2 of RMC 87-2024, what are the instances in which the taxpayers who are mandated to file the tax returns electronically will be allowed to file their returns manually? So under this particular question, the answer is if ever there is an availability of the electronic platform. Second, and the tax return is not yet available in the e-filing platform. Lastly, when an advisory is issued by the BIR allowing manual filing. In short, kailangan talaga laging electronic yung filing natin. Pero, what if walang electronic filing? Pwede bang mag-manual? Yes, only on 3 instances: unavailability of the electronic platform of the BIR, or the tax return is not yet available in the e-filing platform, and if ever the BIR says that you can file manually. Now, since alam po natin na kailangan na mag-file electronically at prohibited ang manual except on certain instances, ang tanong, paano ba tayo mag-file electronically? So where do we file our tax returns? So we file our tax returns under EBIR forms, under EFPS or accredited tax software providers. So currently po, ang electronic filing natin, sakop lang niya ay EBIR forms, EFPS at accredited tax software providers. Para po dun sa manually na nagpa-file or those who are filing on their own, you can use EBIR forms. And EBIR forms actually is a free tax software provided by, of course, the BIR or the government for your filing of your tax returns. Unlike if ever you have tax software providers, kailangan pa nating magbayad. But it's up for your convenience. You can use EBIR forms or you can use the accredited tax software providers. Ang downside nga lang po ng EBIR forms ay, ang EBIR forms, pwede lang po yan sa Windows na PC or kaya laptop. Hindi po siya pwede kapag Mac. Pero kapag accredited tax software providers naman, normally kasi yung mga tax software providers po natin, online na siya. And kapag online, pwede nyo po siyang i-access whether it is a Mac or it is a Windows PC. Pero, again, you can file using the EBIR forms. Libre lang ito. You can always download it to the official BIR website. And you can file your tax returns using EBIR forms. Now, sabi natin, we need to file electronically. Pero ang next na tanong dyan ay, ano nga ba ang ifa-file natin? What and when to file? So, ito po lagi ang problema ng mga taxpayers. Ano ba ang ipa-file natin? Kailan natin siya ipa-file? Kasi alam na natin kung paano siya ipa-file. Ipa-file po natin siya electronically using EBIR forms. Ang next na tanong naman ay, ano ang ipa-file nating tax return at kailan natin yan ipa-file? Ang sagot po dyan ay nasa BIR Form 2303 nyo. Ano po yung BIR Form 2303? So kapag nag-register po kayo sa BIR, bibigyan po kayo ng BIR Form 2303. And based on that BIR Form 2303, doon po natin makikita kung ano yung mga forms na kailangan natin i-file, kailan natin siya ipa-file, at ano yung deadline. So let's say for example po dito sa ating slide, meron po tayo ditong BIR Form 2303. So under BIR Form 2303, ito po yung tsura niya, makikita po natin meron siyang iba't ibang columns. And dito sa columns natin, makikita natin first yung tax type natin. Ano yung mga tax type? Ito yung mga babayaran nating taxes. And then, ito yung mga tax forms natin. Kailan tayo magpa-file, kailan mag-start magpa-file, at yung frequency. Okay. So let's say for example, this BIR Form 2303. Meron tayong withholding tax final. So, yan yung ating tax. Ngayon, ano yung tax form natin dyan? Ang tax form na gagamitin natin ay 0619F. So kapag pumunta ka dun sa EBIR forms, hanapin mo doon yung 0619F. So kailan ka magbabayad ng 0619F? That will start on September 11, 2021. And you need to file it monthly. And when we say monthly, anong ibig sabihin yan? So every month, you need to file final withholding tax. That is on or before the 10th day following the month in which the withholding was made. So ito yung deadline natin. So halimbawa, dun sa 2303 mo, sabi dyan, merong 0619F every 10th day daw. So anong gagawin mo? So kung January ngayon, kailan ka magpa-file? 10th day of the month following the month of withholding. So kung January yan, nag-withhold ka ng January, kailangan ka mag-file on February 10. So actually, lahat naman na kailangan na inyong i-file at kailan ninyong i-file, nasa BIR Form 2303 na ninyo. So kung alam lang po natin basahin yung BIR Form 2303 natin, ibig sabihin po, we are guided on the proper filing. So you need to file electronically using eBIR forms or using EFPS or using accredited tax software providers, whichever you think will be more beneficial for you. And what will you file and when will you file it? What and when will you file will be dependent on your BIR Form 2303. Your certificate of registration will already give you what particular tax returns you need to file, when is the deadline, and what forms will you use. So you will be properly guided based on your BIR Form 2303. Again, sa BIR Form 2303 or Certificate of Registration, doon nyo makikita kung ano-ano ang kailangan yung i-file at kailan ang kanilang deadlines. So if you just properly know how to understand and look into your BIR Form 2303, then alam po natin kung kailan tayo magpa-file, anong form ang ipa-file, at kailan ba ang deadline ng ipa-file nating tax return. Ngayon, since alam na natin kung kailan magpa-file, punta naman na tayo sa next step. So ang first step po uli natin, we file electronically. Next, there must be a proper validation or confirmation of your submission. So if ever you will make use of the eBIR forms, meron po doon na submission. So let's say, for example, meron po tayo dito, yan po yung magpa-pop up na submission. So kailangan nakalagay doon, submit successful. Pero kung EFPS naman, ganito naman po yung magpa-pop up na there was a valid submission and payment. Why is this important? Kasi hindi po ibig sabihin na meron po tayong final sa eBIR form, meron na po tayong valid filing. Kailangan po meron tayong confirmation or validation of submission. Ngayon, ang pwede ninyong tanong dito, pag meron na ba yung pop-up na yan na sinabing submit successful, meron na ba talaga tayong filing? The answer there is no. Why? Kasi kailangan validated yung submission natin. So kapag nag-file ka gamit ang eBIR forms or EFPS online, siguraduhin na may valid confirmation ka. Ngayon ang tanong, kailan natin masasabi na valid yung confirmation or valid yung submission natin? Kailangan meron kang marireceive na email or confirmation email na nasubmit na yung BIR form na final mo sa eBIR forms. Again, hindi porke nag-submit ka sa eBIR forms, it is already submitted. Kailangan merong confirmation email na nasubmit yung iyong submission under eBIR forms. Actually, in actual practice, hindi nila tatanggapin sa bangko kapag wala nung validation ng submission mo, pag walang confirmation email. So, kailangan may confirmation email. Ngayon, magkakaproblema kapag walang confirmation email. So, paano ka magbabayad kung walang confirmation email sa bangko? Actually, nagbigay ng notice ang BIR. So, there was a tax advisory under the BIR. And what is this tax advisory? Sabi dito, in case of non-receipt of the system-generated email confirmation from the eBIR forms, taxpayers are advised to do any of the following. First, print a copy of the pop-up message indicating that the return was successfully submitted, together with the printed copy of the tax return filed through eBIR forms, and pay using BIR EP facilities or to the AABs or the bank. In places where there are no AABs, you can now pay to the revenue collection officer assigned in the RDO premises. Or you can also refile your tax returns in the eBIR forms or proceed to the nearest revenue district office, A-Lounge, can seek assistance to electronically file tax return. So, may problema po dito. Bakit? Kasi, paano kung nag-file ka lang and then walang confirmation? So, sabi dun sa EBIR forms mo, lumabas dito yung submit successful, pero walang confirmation. Anong magiging epekto nito? Sabi dito sa tax advisory, you need to refile your tax returns in the EBIR forms. However, may issue dito sa refiling. Kasi once na magre-refile ka using EBIR forms, magiging amended return siya. So, ang effect niya as if inamend mo yung previous return mo. Ngayon, you need to file that and then wait again for the confirmation. Paano kung wala nga confirmation? So, ang pinaka-tip ko po sa inyo, you need to print a copy of the pop-up message. So, how do you get or to print the copy of the pop-up message? Ugaliing picturean ang submission or yung pop-up message as proof of filing. So every time, therefore, that you need to file your tax return and there is a submit successful pop-up message, you need to take a photo of that. Ano pong ipipicture namin? Yung submit successful lang ba? No. For you, I think the best way for this one is to take a screenshot of the whole screen, including the date and time, to show kung kailan ninyo final yan at anong oras ninyo na-file siya. Para may proof lang kayo na nakapag-file na kayo. And after that, you can already pay using the facilities provided by the BIR. So using this tax advisory, especially if ever hindi po natin na-receive yung ating confirmation email, you can refile your tax returns. But again, that will be subject to an amendment. So, mas maganda, every time you file, you take a picture or a screenshot of the whole screen to show that you properly filed using the EBIR forms. Now, we're done with step number 2. So step number 1, you need to file electronically. Step number 2, wait for the confirmation or validation of your submission. Next step, payment of tax. So you can only pay your tax upon confirmation or upon proper confirmation or validation from the BIR. So once there's already an email confirmation, you can already pay. Pero ang tanong, saan tayo magbabayad? So under Revenue Regulations 87-2024, the payment of tax can be done using link-based portal of the Land Bank of the Philippines. You can also make use of the Development Bank of the Philippines. You can also make use of the Union Bank of the Philippines online. You can also make use of the e-wallets such as GCash, Maya, or Shopee. You can also use Maya mobile application, or you can use MyEG. So there are different applications to make use to pay your taxes. So you can always pay your taxes on time using our online banking application. You can also make use of the LBP link-based portal application. And whenever you make use of the link-based portal, meron na din naman doon yung other banks in which Land Bank is connected with. So you can also pay. So pag ginamit niyo po yung link fees, pwede po kayo magbayad doon gamit ang RCBC, pwede rin kayo magbayad doon gamit ang BPI, etc. So these portals are only means for you to pay your taxes. And you can make use of your online bank accounts to pay for your taxes. So again, online po ang filing, online din ang payment. Pero kung gusto po ninyo, pwede ninyo yung pumunta sa bangko at doon po kayo magbayad. But generally, you can now pay. Actually, ang requirement na po ngayon, you need to pay online. You can only pay to the bank if ever it is offline. So may mga bangko po na hindi na tunatanggap ng payment kasi sabi na ng BIR, payment of tax should be made online. But there are instances only, there are also instances that banks accept payment offline if ever the BIR has an advisory or there is a notice that the banks can accept payment. So payment through banking institutions are still accepted or we have your accredited agent banks or AAB. Ngayon, Ano naman ang tip natin sa payment of taxes? Nagkakaroon po kasi ng problema dito sa payment of taxes ng online. Ano yung problema dyan? Kapag nagbayad po tayo online, ang issue po, minsan hindi po natatag yung payment natin sa mismong return natin. So nag-file po tayo ng return. Ngayon, kailangan po kasing bayad yung amount na yon. So normally dapat nakatag po yung payment natin dun sa return natin. Pero there are instances na hindi po natatag yung payment natin sa return natin. So anong nangyayari po? Ang nangyayari po doon ay meron kang hindi nabayaran na tax. In short, ang tawag po dyan sa BIR, meron kang open case. Ano yung open case? Those are unpaid or unfiled taxes. So if ever it is not properly tagged, then there is an issue. So ano po ang ating tip dito? Ang tip ko po sa inyo, whenever you file and pay online, you keep the records for at least 3 years. Why? Because under our tax code, you are subject to audit generally. The prescriptive period for a tax is 3-year period. So within the 3-year period, kailangan ay pwede ka pa rin i-audit ng BIR. So that you have good documentation or you have enough documentation to back up your payment of taxes, you need to keep your payment for at least 3 years. And then, if ever the BIR will notify you na hindi natag yung payment mo dun sa tax return, you can always just show your proof of payment. Pero anong tanong dito? Ang tanong dito, ano ang inyong proof of payment? So ang proof of payment po natin, you need to screenshot or print your payment confirmation. Kapag authorized agent bank, you have your payment confirmation page and meron din naman silang e-email dyan. Kapag over-the-counter naman, meron tayong validated deposit slip or BIR payment form with bank stamp. So yun yung ipapakita po ninyo. Kung nagbayad naman po kayo sa RCO, official receipt issued by the Revenue Collection Officer. But for RCO po, ang minimum lang po nila, ang maximum po na pwede lang nila ma-receive na payment ay up to 20,000. And RCOs generally are prohibited to accept payments. Except of course, may notice na naman si BIR. For GCash, Maya, BPI, Landbank, whatever, you need to screenshot your confirmation page, including the reference number, the amount paid, the date and time, and if ever there is email confirmation, of course, kung may na-receive. So again, ang tip po natin sa payment, hindi porke nagbayad tayo, okay na siya. Kasi meron po tayo mga payments na hindi natatag doon sa mismong returns natin. So anong nangyayari? Magkakaroon ka ng open case. So anong kailangan mong gawin? You need to screenshot or print your payment confirmation. And you need to keep that for a period of 3 years. That is the prescriptive period generally for taxes. So that if ever you are subject to audit, you have a proof that you already paid that particular tax. Now, on our last part of our 4 steps. So we're done with electronic filing. We're done with confirmation or validation of our submission. We're also done with your e-payment or payment. We go now to your submission of required attachments. Actually, dito maraming taxpayers ang nape-penalize. Hindi sila nagfa-file ng required attachment. So, again, under RMC number 087-2024, upon the passage or effectivity of the IOPTA, we have this particular question. Considering that the tax return filing is required to be done electronically, how can the attachments to the tax returns be submitted, if any? So, saka ka lang magsasubmit kapag may attachments. Pero kung wala namang attachments, then of course you have nothing to submit. So the attachments shall also be likewise filed electronically using the electronic audited financial statements or EAFS or e-submission facility, whichever is applicable. In case of unavailability of said facilities, the attachments can be submitted manually to the BIR district office that has jurisdiction over the taxpayers. So ayon sa RR 22-2024, online or electronic pa rin ang pagpa-file ng ating attachments. as also answered under RMC number 87-2024. So saan nga ba tayo magpa-file ng ating attachments? EAFS or E-Submission Facility. So ang tanong, kailan natin gagamitin yung EAFS at kailan naman natin gagamitin yung E-Submission? Okay. So dito natin i-submit yung ating required attachments under EAFS. So under EAFS, you just need to make an account, you create an account, and then you can now submit using that EAFS. You can also submit using e-submission. So ano yung mga kailangan nating i-submit sa EAFS? First, your audited or unaudited annual financial statements, your notes to annual financial statements. Next, under EAFS, we have your BIR Form 2304, 2307, 2316, and 1606. So all of these items must be submitted to your EAFS. So these are generally withholding forms. Next, you also need to submit to your EAFS the validation report from e-submission of your SAUTI. So if ever you are claiming withholding, you need to still submit it first using e-submission facility, and then whatever is the validation report from the e-submission, you need to file it to your spout. You need to file this to your EAFS. You also need to file in your EAFS the certificate of compensation, duly approved tax debit memo, proof of foreign tax credits, proof of prior year excess credits, proof of other tax payments or credit, filing reference number for EFPS. You also need to file the confirmation for the EBIR forms. Again, kapag walang confirmation, pwede po ninyong ilagay doon yung screenshot ng submission ninyo. Next, proof of payment or acknowledgement receipt of payment. Kaya nga kailangan na natin i-keep yung payment natin kasi kailangan din natin yung i-file sa EAFS. You can also file in your EAFS the Certificate of Independent CPA duly accredited by the BIR, and then Statement of Management Responsibilities. So ito po lahat ang isasubmit natin sa EAFS. Pero syempre, isubmit lang po ninyo yung applicable sa inyo. Hindi naman po kailangan na isubmit ninyo lahat yan. Isubmit lang po kapag may attachment at kapag meron po sa inyo yan. Next, ano naman ang isasubmit natin sa e-submission facility? Ano naman ang ating isasubmit sa e-submission facility? So, you need to submit to your e-submission facility the alphabetical list of employees or payees whom taxes were withheld, or also known as your alpha list, for 1604C, 1604E, 1601EQ, 1601FQ, and 1600. Of course, you need to submit to your e-submission your SLS and SLP, your summary list of sales and summary list of purchases. Para saan ang SLS at SLP? Para yan sa ating VAT taxpayer. So kung ikaw ay VAT taxpayer, ugaliing mag-file ng SLS at SLP. And then you also need to file using e-submission your SAU. You need to file through your e-submission your SAU. Now, assuming you did not properly file and pay your taxes. If you did not properly file and pay your taxes, of course, meron po tayong issues dyan. You need to pay penalties. And ano nga po yung mga penalties natin? You will be subject to a surcharge of 25% or 50% of the tax dues. But under IOPTA, if you are an MSME, you will only have a surcharge of 10%. Next, for interest, you are subject to 12% interest per annum. It is computed per day. So if ever you did not file properly, let's say you did not file within the due date, you filed late after 15 days, then your interest will be 12% multiplied by 15 over 365 days. So yun yung interest mo. Pero kung MSME ka, for MSME, you can only be subject to an interest of 6%. Lastly, of course, you will be subject to compromise penalty. So for compromise penalty, it depends on your tax due. There is a compromise table for your compromise penalty. So, if ever, I just have one tip for you. If ever you cannot properly file your tax return before its due date, mag-file ka na lang ng zero return. That is under, why do we need to file a zero return? Under the rules, you need to file within the due date. So if ever you did not file within the due date, you will now be subject to surcharges, interest, including compromise penalty. So what you need to do is to avoid those penalties, you can file a zero return first. So when we say file a zero return, you file a return without a tax due. But you can now amend the return subsequently using RMC 43-2022. So under RMC 43-2022, you will not be subject to surcharge, interest, or compromise once you amend your return. So you file first your return and then you amend it after. When we say you amend it after, dapat mauna ka mag-amend bago magkaroon ng audit ang BIR sa'yo. And then, you need to pay the tax due already. Because, again, what we want only here is to minimize the surcharge, interest, and compromise. So you file first a zero return, and then after filing a zero return, you can amend thereafter once you are already done or you already finalize the details of your tax return. And then thereafter, you amend your return, you pay the tax due on that particular return. Again, if ever that is purely an amendment, but you filed upon or on or before due date, we will not be subject to surcharge on amended tax returns. So that is under 43-2022. You are not imposed of any surcharge on amended tax returns. If ever you filed before, you will just correct it. Then you can just amend it thereafter. So those are the things that we need to know or follow so that we will not be subject to any mistake or be subject to any penalties by the BIR. So looking back, so we just need to first file electronically. Second, you ensure the filing or submission of your tax return. You ensure the payment of your posting, and then you submit the required attachments. So that's it for my webinar regarding dealing with processes when filing taxes and to avoid the common mistakes in filing taxes. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Jack. And I think there's some questions sa chat box. Maybe we could answer, Jack. Nakikita ko lang kay Dean Adele, but I don't know if you have any questions before that. But I want to, maybe Jack, you can read the question of Dean Adele regarding the
Okay,
form.
sure. For BIR forms like 2307, 2316, annual submission po ba sila? Or during the period na may na-receive akong 2307, need ko na isubmit sa EAFS? Okay, ang ganda po ng tanong ninyo kasi actually, ang submission sa EAFS ay considered po na attachment natin sa BIR, sa ating return. So, saka po ninyo yun isasubmit kapag claim nyo po siya sa return ninyo. So, halimbawa po, ngayong quarter 2, may na-receive kang withholding tax certificate. And then, i-claim nyo po yon doon sa quarter na particular return na yan. So, if ever i-claim nyo po siya this quarter 2, dapat po i-submit nyo rin siya kasi that is your attachment for quarter 2. But assuming you will claim it, let's say for quarter 3 or for annual only, then you will just submit that for annual. Kasi meron po yung mga ganun eh. Parang they pay the full tax and will only claim the withholding at the annual part. So kapag annual lang po ninyo siya gagamitin, doon lang siya magiging attachment. So yung point lang po ng EAFS ay saka lang kayo magsasubmit doon kapag po may attachment po kayo. So kung yung attachment po ninyo doon ay for quarter 2, for quarter 2, kailangan nyo rin pong mag-submit sa EAFS. Ano po yung proof of prior year's excess credits? Yung proof of prior year excess credits, di po ba pag last year halimbawa, may sobra po kayong nabayaran na taxes. Ngayon, ano po yung magiging proof ninyo? So normally po doon sa ITR natin, ititik nyo po doon kung to claim for future tax credits, etc. Ngayon, pag natik nyo po yon, ang proof po ninyo ay yung annual ITR nyo last year. I-attach nyo lang po yung annual ITR nyo last year. Kasi yun po yung proof nyo na may excess tax credits kayo last year. For
Thank you, sir.
2316, okay po. For 2316, need pa rin ba i-sign ng employer and employee? Eto medyo tricky siya kasi meron pong notice before na kahit wala naman ng signature, but still, we need to follow yung nasa form po natin kasi hindi pa naman po siya amended eh. So, ang kailangan po natin, we still need those signatures. Next, and but by the way, signatures naman ngayon, meron ng e-signature. Meron naman yung nagbibigay ng e-signature. So, hopefully makuha pa rin po natin or makomply pa rin natin siya. Kasi up to now, wala naman bagong advisory tungkol dyan. So, we comply based on the old rule. Next, if I filed required returns on time, do we have grace period on paying actual the filed amount? Um, uh, Actually, you don't have a grace period. You need to file and pay. Yun yung requirement eh. You file and then you pay. You need to file and pay before the deadline. Whenever we talk about grace period, ang pinaka-tip ko na lang po dyan, kung hindi ka pa handang magbayad, mag-file ka muna ng tax return and then i-zero mo muna. Tapos i-amend mo na lang soon para makapagbayad ka ng amount. Yun na lang siguro. Pero medyo delikado din yun kasi baka ma-audit ka ng BIR. So gawin mo lang yun paminsan-minsan. Whenever we talk about installment, ang meron lang pong installment payment ay yung annual ITR natin. So meron kang annual na pwede siya for 2 installments. Bayaran mo yung installment on the due date, that is April 15, and then bayaran mo yung second installment after 6 months, that is October 15. So, yun po, wala po talagang grace period sa ating tax because sabi nga ni BIR, taxes are the lifeblood of the government. Ano pong need na form to claim tax credit? Depende po kung anong claim po ninyong tax credit. Pero kung prior year's tax credit yan, you just attach po yung previous na ITR ninyo. What is the safest to do? Filed a zero return if I don't have budget yet, or filed as per computed, then pay when fund is ready. File a zero return. Why? Because if you will file per computed and you don't have the funds, even if you filed but you did not pay it, you are still subject to penalties. Because what is needed under our tax code is you file and you pay. So if ever you only file but you did not pay, you are still subject to penalties. So yun nga po, ang tip ko po sa'yo, if ever medyo tight yung budget, you file first a return and then amend it after. 2307 submitted per quarter. This same 2307 have to be submitted in the subsequent quarter and annual return. Yung 2307 for the quarter, gamitin nyo lang yan for the quarter. Pero for the annual return, kung ano yung mga 2307 na gagamitin nyo na naman for that annual return, yun po yung isa-submit ninyo. Again, kung ano po yung attachment or ginagamit lang for that quarter, yun lang yung isa-submit ninyo. Ngayon, kung gagamitin yung attachments sa annual ninyo, lahat yung 2307s na yon, then you need to also file it. But generally, if you filed it already in the quarter, then it will be under previous payments. So it's up to you. Kung nagamit nyo na yung 2307 na yon sa previous quarter, of course, hindi nyo na siya pwedeng gamitin for the annual. Regarding zero return, wala ka babayaran na surcharge, interest and penalty sa return na i-file after the deadline. But yes, wala. Wala talaga. Why? Because you are merely amending the return. Take note po, saka ka lang mas-subject sa penalty kapag hindi ka nakapagbayad at nakapag-file on time. Sa zero return kasi, nakapag-file on time ka. And since wala ka namang babayaran, then naka-pay on time ka rin. Pero to show good faith, pwede pong lagyan nyo muna ng 100 pesos and gamitin nyo na lang. Yun yung po yung technique ng mga practitioners eh. Nagpa-file po muna sila ng parang 100 pesos lang para lang may mabayaran. And then, after that, i-amend na lang po nila. Kasi po, for amended returns, there are no surcharge, interest, and compromise allowed. I have a BPO company servicing offshore clients. My clients are zero rated and my input VAT is already filing up. How can I get a tax credit or enjoy the input VAT? Okay. Your issue po, ganito yung gagawin po ninyo. Since it is zero rated, you have a lot of input VAT. You need to file a tax refund to the BIR. We call that your VAT refund. Since masyado nang mataas yung iyong input VAT and wala kang output VAT. Now, ingat lang po kayo, Miss Irene, kasi marami pong nadidisallow ang kanilang zero-rated steel because they did not comply with the requirements of the BIR. So whenever we say zero-rated sale, it must be foreign currency denominated. So you need to prove that it is foreign currency denominated to claim that particular input VAT as a tax refund. So dun sa question po ninyo, you can claim the tax refund by filing a refund or the excess input VAT by filing a tax refund or VAT refund to the BIR. You can file that within 2 years po. So ingatan niyo po ninyo, baka lumagpas na yan. So look into the date, 2 years po yan, you need to file a VAT refund to the BIR. Zero return, then amended, pero may payable na. May penalty po ba ito? As long as amended po siya, as long as it is an amended return, wala pong penalty po sa amended returns. Saka ka lang may penalty po kapag hindi ka nakapag-file on time. So yung penalties po talaga natin, naka-subject lang yan sa non-payment or non-filing on time. Ayan po, nasagot ko po na po lahat ng tanong ninyo, even po yung sa may BPO, although it's outside the topic. But I hope I cleared out all of your questions and I hope I helped you out in the filing and preparation of your taxes. So thank you so much po to everyone.
Ayan, thank you so much. And for those of you who still have question, I think this is the best time. But we will ensure, yeah, may nagtaas ng kamay. Thank you so much sa mga nagtanong. Pa-type naman ng one if this webinar is valuable kasi we want you to have more knowledge. Nandito si April. Si April susunod kong ano yan podcaster. Miss Adele, do you have questions? Any additional information from the sharing of Jack? Again, pa-type 1 kung natuto kayo for today. And again, for those of you who needs more information about the tax compliance in the Philippines, we will do random webinar weekly if you want. Please reach out to me if you have any question, particular topic. We will do our best to support your answer, your inquiries. And please join the community that we have. I think Daniel posted and I also post the community kasi nandun kami nagpo-post ng mga tips and I will also post this one to YouTube channel. But, di ba, isang araw pa lang to, ako rin natututo. So kayo ba, you're learning? You want this more kind of webinar?
TV yogurt? Okay, man. Ano ko naman?
Oo, yung TV daw, pakipatay. Ayan, TV ba yun? Ayan. So, pwede kayo mag-reach out sa akin. Please make sure you have specific question for example, 1701, VAT, 1601C, withholding tax, client nyo man. And again, we are so happy to assist and help you in any way we can. Again, 77 tayo kanina. I hope madagdagan yung nasa community. We're around 100. Nag-join na ba kayo sa community? make sure nandun kayo sa loob kasi we have some announcement and tips nandun para kung hindi nyo masyadong nakuha, you can review. I'll just show you the community that we have. Mag-check ako ng attendance mamaya. I make sure lahat kayo nakapasok dito sa community. Ayan, nandiyan na sila Dean, see? Meron kami ditong mga announcement and previous webinar. And Jack, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. And we're looking forward for more webinar like this, even di talaga natututo rin. So what's the purpose of this webinar? We want you to be more knowledgeable and eventually this one could be your business. Malay nyo magkaroon kayo ng accounting firm someday. Tama ba? Sino gusto magkaroon ng accounting firm? O sino na lang dito may accounting firm? Type 1. O type 2, accounting firm. Ay, may tanong pa po, Mr. Jack. Sir Jack. Sir Jack. Sino accounting firm po dito? Aside from my business, accounting firm. Gusto mag-accounting firm ba type 2? Yan. Jack, may tanong pa doon.
Okay, may tanong po dito. What if BIR made a mistake in your 2303, but by following it, BIR assessed you for the tax that's not in your 2303? Napaka-imposible po niyan. Because your tax dues are based on your 2303. So you will just follow your tax dues based on 2303. If there's a mistake in the 2303, then parang napaka-imposible po. I never encountered one so far. But if ever, baka mali lang yung na-issue na 2303 sa'yo, yung nasa BIR, yung halimbawa po nasa BIR system iba, yung 2303 mo iba, parang napaka-imposible niya po. Pero kapag nangyari yon, the best way to do that is you show them your 2303. And then based on 2303, you show your filing. And then you need to make a letter to the BIR. And ang ginagawa po namin kapag ganyan, na nagkamali po kami ng filing ng tax return. So halimbawa po, ang ipa-file kong return dapat is 1706. Pero ang na-file ko ay 1606. So, ang gagawin dyan is, hindi po kasi pwedeng gamitin yung binayad mo dun sa 1606 sa 1706. So, parang ganun po yung nangyari dyan. Parang, sa 2303 mo, ito yung BIR form, yan yung fina-file mo. And then, sabi ng BIR, hindi yun pala yung ipa-file mo. So, ang pwede nyo pong gawin, mag-letter po kayo sa BIR, kumuha po kayo ng permission na kung ano po yung binayad nyo dun sa tax returns nyo before will be credited as payment to your correct forms. Yun na lang po yung pwedeng gawin doon. Pero it's very unlikely that the 2303 magkaiba po yung kailangan yung i-file at ano yung nandun sa 2303 nyo. But if ever that happens, based on my actual practice, what we did is we asked the BIR for their confirmation if ever we can make use of the payment we paid from the previous tax return and use it as payment for the other return. So dun po, 1606 yung binayaran namin, pero dapat 1706, kinuha po namin yung payment dun sa 1606 as a credit for 1706.
All right. One more question and I think we could wrap up because 1 hour make it short and sweet tayo sa lahat ng webinar natin. And may last question pa ba? Tama, may nakita ko isang last na lang. Then we can wrap up the discussion. And
merong tanong dito na i-require na po ba lahat ng freelancers ang e-invoicing? Under IOPTA, kailangan lahat e-invoices na. But so far, the BIR is still looking into yung mag-service po ng e-invoice. Kasi let's admit it, we want an e-invoice facility, but we don't have it yet here in the Philippines. We're not yet capable of e-invoicing. So yes, under IOPTA, dapat mag-e-invoice ka na. But since wala pa namang proper facility for that, of course, hindi ka rin naman pwedeng pilitin ni BIR na mag-i-invoice kung wala pa namang facility. But yeah, that's the track na gusto ng BIR, lahat tayo electronically na.
Okay, thank you so much. But one last thing before we go, I would like to encourage everyone. Meron kaming sa mga nag-attend dito, I would like you to post this webinar in your social media, LinkedIn. Why? This is your way also of getting clients locally. It's very effective. Alam ng mga nandyan yan, yung mga naglo-local. Once you share something valuable in your social media, you can ask ChatGPT, what's the summary of our discussion? Kung nag-screenshot kayo, kanina ako nag-screenshot, may mga takeaways ako, then eventually you will have clients locally. Tama ba? And meron kaming award sa magpo-post, hindi lang may bayad ang posting nyo. Okay? Sino gusto ng may bayad ang posting? Pa-type naman ng may bayad kung gusto niyo 'yon. Siyempre may effort, 'di ba? Magkaka-client na kayo and in the same way you will be compensated. Oh, pera-pera, yung mga mukhang pera diyan, wag na tayo Oh, 'di ba? O ipunin niyo kada post. Seriously, we have a payment for those people who would like us to post this content to your social media. Fair enough? Natuto ka na, nagkapera ka pa. Tama? Okay. So again, please save this Zoom link kasi tomorrow we will also have another podcast, 7 p.m. How to file your tax as a freelancers. And I think andito si April. April, can you unmute ba? Siguro si April, ni-reach out ko yan, magto-talk din siya. Wala na siyang magagawa. April, are you there?
Anong sasabihin ko, girl?
Anong topic ang gusto mong i-discuss sa susunod na linggo na lang, next week? Any topic?
Kayo, anong gusto nyo?
Si April is one practitioner of local tax and she's also an expert on local. And again, para lang sa inyong calendar, tomorrow we will have 7 p.m. and next week, April will be joining us. Wala na siyang magagawa. Ako na bahala sa kanya. Nag-oo na siya. Yan. Okay, so we have some picture naman dyan and isa-screenshot ko yung nagsabing magpo-post sila sa social media. Please post on your LinkedIn. Pakitag po kami. Especially ako para matrace ko kung sino yung nagpa-participate. Tama ba? May palitson. May papalitson tayo. Okay, picture. And please post this on your social media. Okay, first slide. Labas tayo. Ayan. Pag picture taking, naglalabasan. 1, 2, 3. Yung iba nakaganon pa. Oh, happy siya. Next. Next slide. 1, 2, 3. Ang gusto ko si Maria Jessica Serra. Gusto ko yung anong shade ng lipstick mo, Ben? 1, 2, 3. Okay, again, thank you so much, Jack. And tomorrow, 7 p.m., same link. Pasok lang kayo. I-open ko lang for everybody. And next week, April Maramba will be here to join us. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Again,
you, everyone. Bye po.
Bye. Thanks, Jack. Thanks, everyone. Pasend doon ng pics. Papadevelop ko pa, be. Wait lang.